Dress to impress. I can't stress this enough, but I have for many years believed that executives will be judged very quickly on how they present physically and how they present verbally. There is a lot of science around this, that people will make snap judgments, and I'm afraid there is bias, there's unconscious bias in the market. People will make very quick decisions on whether they want to engage with you, whether they want to speak with you, give you a job interview, engage you, hire you based on your appearance. And, the reality is that, you can always sell yourself by dressing well and dressing appropriately for the environment that you're operating in. In the board recruitment market, it is imperative that you are presenting yourself as someone who could be a brand ambassador for the company. You are aspiring to go for the most important, most senior position in the company. You are the representative of the company when you serve on the board. You are a brand ambassador, and so you should dress appropriately. I'm seeing a lot of executives who come to my meetings for board director appointments looking extremely casual. I had an executive who, granted, was a CEO, and, I appreciate sometimes these can seem like very relaxed environments, but he got on the call to engage with me about board seats and board opportunities, and he was in a very sweaty T-shirt. I think he'd just come from a run. The T-shirt was tattered. He had a cap on in the meeting, and he looked fairly casual, and the background was very casual. And if I went onto LinkedIn, the casualness was also there on LinkedIn. He had a cap on, and he had a puffer jacket. It was like an outdoors jacket, and yet he was the CEO of quite a substantial enterprise. Now, my impression, I've got to be frank, was pretty poor. This is the first time I've met this individual. Yes, he had some interesting skill sets, but I couldn't get over my initial impression, which was, well, couldn't you have had a shower before you got onto this call today? I don't really want to see you in your tatty T-shirt, and you've got a cap. Now, a cap is extremely disrespectful in a lot of settings. I'll never forget being pulled up when I went into an RSL club and I had my sporting cap on, and they tore strips off me. Take the cap off, show some respect. And, I was so used to walking around Kirribilli, and I'd walked into the Kirribilli club and I'd forgotten the basics, the common courtesies, the respect that needs to be shown in certain environments. And so, you really have to take a step back. Now, I will never forget years ago when I was working at PeopleSoft, which eventually became Oracle. It was a very casual work environment. Most people wore sneakers and jeans, T-shirts to the office. That was the style of the company. And they brought in a new CEO, and the new CEO came out and he gave a lecture to the Australian office, and he said, casual clothes leads to casual work ethics. And it always stuck in my mind, that phrase, and there was some truth to it, because what would happen is, we'd be casual in the office and it was very informal, but then we'd go out to a client, and a client would be, the state government or the CIO at Macquarie Bank, and we'd be turning up in sneakers and T-shirts and jeans. And, there was this real disconnect between, what was appropriate and what wasn't appropriate. And so I really feel that, you've really got to lift the bar. You can always undress, you could always take a tie off, you could always take a jacket off, you could always potentially even roll a shirt sleeve up, but you can't come to a meeting underdressed, and it will have a big impact on your personal confidence. Now, for women in particular, I see a lot of corporate headshots, and there's a lot of skin showing. There's often cut off tops, and they're showing the full arm, often showing a lot of cleavage. just keep in mind, again, this can be very disrespectful in a lot of cultures, and it's always better to play the safe averages. So for women, I always suggest wearing, a jacket, some structure around the top, some form of structure, a shirt, or if it's a t-shirt, something that doesn't show a lot of cleavage, like I've got on today, and just always looking impeccably groomed. Grooming is important, really important. You cannot afford to go to a meeting post a jog being sweaty and just not looking like you've presented for a business meeting. And the other thing I'd suggest is using a little bit of colour. There's a lot of people on LinkedIn and Facebook and in resumes. A little bit of colour goes a long way, so I always wear a colourful jacket. Pick what suits your personal style, but dress to impress. Always look a little bit better than you need to look a little bit more polished. This isn't about brand names and designer labels. This is about looking professional, being confident in what you're wearing, and having a little bit of corporate style about you so that you give the confidence. And particularly if you're going for board roles, keep in mind you are a brand ambassador. Dress like one.